Joe Duffy, CEO of OffshoreInsiders.com. We're going to take a look at the college football odds for the Heisman and also for some statistical leaders, especially if you're into the growing sport or the growing betting of fantasy college football statistics and whatnot. Now, here's some interesting line moves as far as the Heisman is concerned, and these odds are on joeduffy.net. See all the vetted sportsbooks at offshoreinsiders.com. Bryce Young opened up as a 3-1 favorite, followed by C.J. Stroud at 5-1, and then Spencer Rattler was 7-1. Of course, you might remember on one of the videos I did, I said that Rattler, I think, is my dark horse, and he just continues to drop. But we explained there why I do like him as a dark horse, and of course, I bet that after the odds have dropped. But now, after the most recent odds, Stroud has flipped to the current favorite. Caleb Williams, initially at 12-1 odds, is now the second favorite at 2-1, or at 7-2, or plus 350. Now, as far as some of the most bet, UCF transfer Dylan Gabriel is number 4 at Oklahoma, and that's, of course, despite the fact that quarterback whisperer Lincoln Riley is going to USC and being replaced by defensive guru Brent Venables, but they still expect Oklahoma to be that wide-open, explosive offense, and I don't really think why too much should really change. And they're in, of course, the Big 12, which is well known for being a quite offensive conference in which Gabriel will be able to chance to put up some great statistics, and he was very impressive over at UCF, I should say. Public loves, though, Riley, as current quarterback Caleb Williams is getting the third highest number of tickets. Now, not to say that the public doesn't love Caleb Williams, of course, it's on him, but, you know, with Riley's reputation as being the offensive genius and whatnot, USC is kind of the chic team to win the national championship, and obviously Caleb Williams kind of a chic pick to win the Heisman Trophy. Alabama running back Jamar Gibbs is given the best chance among non-quarterbacks to win the Heisman. As far as the biggest liabilities and, you know, who the public is basically betting on some long shots, UNC quarterback Devin Leary is at 25-1, and that's in no small part. Last year he had a 35-5 touchdown interception ratio. Quarterback for Utah, Cameron Rising is, well, I may be rising at 100-1. Now, we got to remind ourselves sometimes the Utah Utes are now in the Pac-12, so he clearly has a chance to prove himself. And remember, played pretty well against Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, completing 77.3% of his passes. And another interesting long shot or big liability at the sports books is Will Levis at 50-1. He is the Kentucky quarterback. Our power ratings have Kentucky as only the number 36 team in the country, so interesting that they're going to put money on a guy that had okay statistics last year. A lot of people think that, you know, the Kentucky fans are not always the most realistic fans when it comes to their football team, but, you know, I do know there are some people who think that Kentucky is going to be the dark horse team this year, and clearly, if they do, that's why they would also have the dark horse candidate at quarterback. Some of the stat leaders, obviously, some of the names that were already mentioned. Maybe an interesting, a little bit of a dichotomy. Brendan Anderson, only 66-1 at the Heisman, but he's 3-1 to win total passing yards. Now, you would think if a guy wins total passing yards, he'd have a pretty good chance at the Heisman Trophy, although our power ratings have them as the number 4 team in the Coastal Division, so Armstrong is a guy who's likely going to put up spectacular statistics, but I don't think Virginia's going to get enough wins for him to really be a serious challenger for the Heisman, even if he does wind up putting fantastic statistics up. And then you can see for the most receiving yards, yeah, the odds makers say that even though Ohio State lost some great wide receivers, they still have the best wide receiving core in the college football this year, and also Trayvon Henderson, maybe the most rushing touchdowns. So, yeah, Ohio State could have the Heisman Trophy winner. They could have the best wide receiver in the country, both objectively and subjectively, and they might have the best running back in the country. So Ohio State very clearly loaded, and you can see some of these statistics, although Trayvon Henderson is only number 3 in rushing yards. He might be pretty good at 4-1 because Ohio State, they use a more balanced offense. He's certainly going to get a lot of, well, he's going to get a lot of yards, but I do think he could certainly lead the country in rushing if they decide to really take advantage of that balance that they have. Now, remember, please visit offshoreinsiders.com for the best sports picks out there and a whole heck of a lot more. And please like this video and, tweet it and feel free to embed it. Offshoreinsiders.com, always the place to go for the best winning picks.